Okay, welcome to today's next level session. Looks like my Zoom links expired this morning. So I came in and noticed that there was no links. You guys probably didn't get an invite. So we have a low attendance today, but I am streaming to YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. I'll do the usual announcement that we do have links to these sessions live if you want to attend them live at the top right of the kvCORE platform dashboard page. So this week, we're continuing on with a series about working FSBOs with kvCORE. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the doc from yesterday and get into some advertising, some direct Facebook and Google ads around what we're doing here. But before I did that, I learned today, as you guys probably saw in kvCORE, that you can actually now edit behavior modifications in kvCORE. So just a quick announcement about that. You can see the little notice here when you log into kvCORE. I will go now over to marketing, kind of show where this is. If I go to marketing and up at the top right, I go to this behavior modification section, and you can now see that the individual messages, this is probably one of the biggest feature requests we've gotten over the years, but you can now see that the messages are editable, the emails and the text that go out. So if I click edit, you can now put your own copy in here. And this is kind of a big deal. People wanted to do this for a while. So you could choose your own email template, or you can kind of write copy into box here for each of these individual messages. So yay, big deal. Hopefully you guys want to, just use this as a reminder to schedule some time for yourself or go in there right now and edit some of these messages that go out when these specific triggers are triggered. We also did recently do, if you search the archives, we did do a session on this only about 2 weeks ago about how the behaviorals work, some of the ins and outs of those. So do look at the Inside Real Estate playlist for these webinars. It's probably right back here on 3/9/21 called kvCORE Behavioral Automations Review. And now you've got this extra feature. So now that that housekeeping is out of the way, let's continue on with where we were yesterday. I'm going to try to find my document. There is me playing on the YouTube. 1 second here. Just give me 1 second. I thought I had the doc up on my computer, but with the webinar thing, I think I am a little discombobulated here. Here it is. Okay. So this was our outline that we were working off yesterday. And as we said, we were building out this 7 marketing tactics document that we built a landing page for, and that we were going to start driving traffic to today. So we built the 7 marketing steps report. I promised that overnight I would get the report done, which I did. And for next level members, I will get you a copy of this in the members area that you can go ahead and grab for yourself, edit to your heart's content, and use in your own marketing. I do have some instructions on top here. Just know that when you're copying Google Docs, the way to do that is you hit the file up top and you hit make a copy, and then you bring it into your own Google Drive to use. So you're not going to actually edit the link that I give you in the members area. But as you can see here, just to review this, yesterday we did our bullet points, and you'll see I wrote a few paragraphs about each one. Some of these things, you're going to want to put your own link in here, because if I put my local link to a single property page in Florida and you're sitting up there in Alaska or something, it's not going to make a lot of sense. So you're going to want to kind of add in, a recent lead capture page you did. I did do an example text response code that people can text to kind of see how our interactive text response codes use. This is fine. It'll just go into my kvCORE account. You might want to swap it out for your own, but the demo itself will work if you want to leave that. I did put a little snapshot of a property boost ad here for one of our recent listings locally. So what you would do is you would go into the property boost section of the site, find one of your listings, and just grab a screenshot of the preview that it shows if you want to swap mine out here in the report. For part 4, I did a generic Google ad. So this is just kind of a demo that you don't really have to change. Just shows what a Google search ad looks like. Talks about the benefits of doing that. Hold an open house. We got some stuff about open houses in general. And then I put a little screenshot from the kvCORE open house app. You don't really need to edit that either. We've got our section about posting in neighborhood groups. I just have a generic thing that I found on Nextdoor's website about, an example real estate ad. And then there's a little bit about circle prospecting with postcards. I made a quick demo using thanks.io of what this might look like that's in the report. So you don't really need to touch that. So really the only thing that you might want to swap out is the property boost example, the Facebook ad, and maybe that initial report and the text code, just to kind of make this feel more like yours. And of course, maybe you add your logo. You can change the call to action at the bottom right here. And as you guys will see when you read this, that basically this report, it's trying to provide value to the FSBO owner, but really what it's doing is it's planting the seed that, hey, the person who wrote this report is a sophisticated marketer, and they can do things that I don't have time or energy or know how to do. So that if I want somebody who can do all this stuff, then it makes sense for me to reach out. And then I do a little bit at the end, just a little bit of touching on, hey, there's a lot that can go wrong when you're negotiating and things like that. If you're trying to sell your own house, you could end up losing more than the cost of a commission. Cost is probably a better word here. Cost of a commission due to mistakes that you might make. You might say the wrong thing. And I try to position, the idea that it makes sense to reach out at your phone number, which you'd want to put in there. So anybody watching live, let me know what you think of this. Again, we have low attendance today just because of the Zoom link expiring. I had to kind of refresh it, and I know nobody got the reminders that usually get you guys on here, but let me know what you're thinking. And again, I'll put this report in the next level members area alongside our other templates for you to use. So that's kind of the setup, where we're at in this flow. I will reference yesterday's webinar for more context, but what we wanted to do today was run a Facebook and a Google ad that drives traffic to this particular offer, to the landing page that we made yesterday. So if I go into all lead engine tools and I go into past landing pages, I can find the one I made yesterday. Let's pick the URL there. Scroll down, it'll be right here. So this particular page is now ready. And as you remember yesterday, I had set the redirect link to go to my report. We showed how to build this out. And now what we're ready to do, because the report is done, is to drive traffic at this very link that you see up in the browser. So let's go ahead. Let's run a Facebook ad first, and then let's run a Google ad for this concept and see if we can generate some leads. And the disclosure that I'll make before we do this is that you cannot expect to get a $2 or $3 or even a $5 lead here. I don't think that's going to happen. Going into any kind of seller lead generation like this, you're trying to find almost a needle in a haystack. Somebody who wants to sell their house right now, who's browsing online and interact. So you got to be prepared to pay upwards of 20. It's probably gonna be more like $50 to $100 a lead to generate this. So just be ready for that. Might come in cheaper, but just think about what you make on the average commission side and what you'd be willing to pay for the lead. Okay, so let's grab the link. I'm going to go into our demo Facebook ads account here. And I'm just going to kind of walk through how I would go about generating this ad. And I would hit the create button here. I would choose traffic because we're just sending traffic and clicks directly at a landing page. And I would hit continue. Give the campaign a name, FSBO /7 marketing tactics. Hit next. My ad set name is just going to be the local market. I say this every time we run a Facebook ad. You can't really target any more specifically than to the local market. Now, notice here, Facebook is defaulting to this calls thing. They really want us to use that. So in a future session, I will try to run an ad that generates calls, but I'm going to toggle this back to website. They seem to be wanting to push that, but I need to test it before I recommend any of that to you guys to see if it actually works. And then we'll set a daily budget, something like 20 bucks if you can afford 50 just to learn in the beginning, something like that, 100 even, just to kind of get enough spend going that you see if you're going to get a result on this. I would recommend at least 20 to get started. And then our location, type Pinellas for my county. Okay, and with listings, you can probably go broader, right? I think most of us would be willing to take a listing a little further out. We don't want to show houses all over, 45 an hour away from us. Most of us don't. But you can, if you get a listing, maybe it's a little more worth the effort. If you can generate a FSBO or somebody, attract a FSBO who's a little further out. So I'm going to do the whole county here. You might even go a little broader than I'm going. Again, we can't really mess with the targeting too much there. I'll leave automatic placements on. Sometimes I do like to choose either just Facebook or just Instagram, get rid of this audience network if you want. But everything else we're leaving the same. Clicking next. And Patricia's asking, am I remembering correctly that you should front load your ad spend? I like to start higher just to get results. So at least set the daily spend at what you expect a lead to cost. So in this case, the $20 might even be too low, but you want to at least have it be high enough that you can get a lead a day, and then maybe adjust it later once you learn. I think some people do say, in e-commerce and other things, that you want to have that budget higher so the algorithm can learn faster. I like that 1 lead a day rule in general. So 7 tactics, 7 home selling marketing tactics is the name of my ad. Now you're going to tie this to a Facebook page. And one thing to think about here is whether or not you want to be explicit about the fact that this is an agency. And again, there's some stuff around compliance, and you might want to put your brokerage name there. But you can also do, a lot of people will do kind of a generic name for their page. So we have this generic real estate for sale site business page that you might use. So it feels a little less like a realtor is going to be chasing you. So if I had Ryan Hartman Real Estate Agent as my fan page name, my business page name, well, that might scare some people away versus just the generic real estate for sale. The upside of doing your name is that if somebody opts in, they kind of know they're dealing with a realtor from the start. So just something to consider. In some cases, you may just want to just be better safe than sorry around compliance. You might just want to make sure all the contact info is anywhere. You don't really want to do a blind ad, but I like to throw that thought in there because it will affect your conversion rates. Okay, ad setup, single image or video. And then let's see. So the text of our ad, we'll get to the creative in a minute, but the text of our ad is always just going to be more or less what they find on the landing page, so that there's not a lot of difference. If they click off the ad, they should opt in here because they were interested in the click, and then they're not going to see anything here that doesn't seem weird. So download the free guide. Now, nothing that kind of, scares them away. 7 ways. You can even do this: sell your house without an agent, something like that for your headline. I can do multiple options too. 7 real estate marketing tactics, stuff like that. Okay, our destination is going to be the website URL. And then phone number. This is new. Show call extension on your website. I'm going to leave that off. And interestingly enough, it kind of grabbed that image from the landing page. Could just leave that, and I might, or you could get a little fancier. A lot of times what I'll do is this with a free report. So I'm going to go on a tiny tangent. I'm going to bring up my Screencast-O-Matic tool that I use for making quick videos. Here, and hit record. Okay, and sometimes what I'll do is this. It's kind of, I'll show a preview. I'll make a preview video of the report. So I'm gonna hit record, and then do this, scroll down. Then I'm gonna hit stop. But so that people can't read the whole report, I'm going to put a little blur on it, a little sneaky blur here after the first section. So I'm kind of putting a blur here. I'm going to let them kind of see the first section or two, then the rest is going to blur out. You guys may have seen ads like this. I've seen other people do this too. So they'll start to see it. And then maybe I'll unhide the blur for a little while and then put it back. This is a simple editing tool built into Screencast-O-Matic. You guys can just see what I'm doing. It's kind of easy. I hit the plus blur, then I'll blur it back again. So yeah, another extra minute or two, but I always like to pay a little more attention to ad creative if I have a minute to do so. So I'll just save this as a video file, blurred report, hit the publish. It'll save it to my computer. And now I can upload that right here where it says add media. I can add it as a video. So a little bonus tip there, guys. If you have a free report or any kind of info, even if it's I've used this for property search results, like a list of new construction properties or the niche ads that we write. you can actually kind of show the first few properties and then do that blur. And I've gotten good results on ads like that. So just uploading that real quick. Free report. Just kind of punching this up a little, the headline. Like that. I had a little embellishment, free guide, you know, it plays with what they're going to see on the screen. So it's going to process the video and then I can go ahead and run this. And it takes a minute for a Facebook process. So that's it. You know, that's how to run an ad for this or for any other kind of free report or just a direct click that you're doing. Just with a seller side offer like this, I do expect the lead to be a little more expensive because you're really just kind of hoping for that one in, I don't know, is it 1 in 1,000 people, 1 in 5,000 people in your market who are thinking along these lines. So Facebook will show the ad to tens of thousands of people, but you know, you need that 1 or 2 people, that needle in the haystack who's like, oh yeah, I want to sell my house and I don't want to pay an agent's commission. And I kind of, that's on my mind right now. I'll click this and check this out. So, but I do, you know, one of the nice things about real estate is the average commission side, this can work. You know, these kind of numbers, 100 a lead is not crazy, even though it might sound like it is. There are plenty of agents paying Zillow more than that, right? Every day, and very happily doing so around the country, as an example. So just kind of waiting for this processing to complete. Let me try to hit the green button and see if it'll save for me. There we go. Publishing, and that's it. So that is that ad. That's Facebook. Facebook is kind of somebody's browsing their feed. It's interruption marketing. It's not very targeted. You know, there's not a lot of intent until somebody sees the ad copy and they become interested. The next thing we can try might be a little more targeted, but also a little more even needle in a haystack or a little slower. And that would be a Google ad that runs for specific keywords. So I'm going to try that next. So let's head over to Google. And just a reminder, guys, what we've done is we've built our lead magnet. We've built the thing that people are going to opt in for. We've built a capture page that they can use to access it. So we capture contact info. And now we're at the driving traffic stage. Now we've got those two things built. So I'm going to click new campaign. We can do website traffic as our objective. We continue. Do a search ad, use search. I'm going to skip the business website thing. That's just so they can try to find keywords. We'll call this 7 Ways FSBO. Just for me, the campaign name. Start new. And we'll try 20 bucks a day. I think we might actually have a hard time spending 20 bucks a day on this, and you'll see why in a minute. I'm going to go straight for clicks for now. My objective, I just want to see if I can get the clicks. I'm going to take off my search and display networks. I don't want their third tier traffic. I just want the good stuff. I do only want to show this, now that I think about it, I do only want to show this probably in my local market. I mean, there's a chance that somebody will be searching out of town, but then I would need to have the actual areas in there. And I think for the keywords we're going to use here, we just want this ad to show to people who are in our market. So that's why I chose that. Location options, people in or regularly in. Hit next. And now we're going to get some keywords. And this is where it's a little tricky. But some of the keywords that I might do are something like sell my house. All right, so if I do that, and if somebody's Googling sell my house, I'm putting it up top. Right, and then Google's going to feed us some keywords, but not all of them are relevant. How much can I sell? How to sell your house fast? Houses sold in my area? No. How to sell your own home? How to sell your home? How do I sell my house? Right, so things like this, how to sell a house fast. how to sell your house quickly. So that's pretty good. Google's saying that for about $3 a click, I can expect 7 clicks a day. That's not too bad. So let's try that out. I'm just going to leave that. I'm going to leave it broad match just for now and not get too fancy. Google may send me some clicks that I'm not psyched about, for some weird keywords, but I'm going to let it go broad here and see what happens. And then I might tighten it later to phrase or exact. But I just want to kind of see if I can get any traffic on this idea. My final URL, again, is this landing page URL. Like that. And then, again, we're going to try to match this. So sell your, how about this? Home selling marketing ideas. Okay. And I can squeeze 7 in there. All right. Free guide. Free guide shows you how sell your house. Sell your own house. Okay. Then I need these little pins here. This is a new Google thing, but I want that one in position 1. I want this one in position 2. I want this one in position 3. And I can put, avoid realtor, avoid paying commission. Right? If we want, we can do this. I'm going to put that in position 1. And basically what that would do is it rotate this headline. Then we're going to have a description. And my description, I'll just going to copy this. Hopefully it's not too long. It's too long. Now it's not too long. And then I'll put the second part, second line. Okay. And there you go. You can see it kind of render right here. And that's pretty okay. It's going to tell me they want these site link extensions. I really don't like those. I feel like it dilutes the focus of your ad. It spreads your traffic around. It's harder to track. So I'm just going to avoid Google's advice. And then it says there's an issue that prevents it from showing. Well, tell me what's wrong. Let me see what's wrong here. Ah, I see what's wrong. Okay, policy violation capitalization. That's just me, my natural kind of copywriting habits, I guess. But you can't do this. And I didn't type this in because I copied it from the landing page. So you can't have multiple capital letters in a row. Google doesn't like that. So that's why I got denied. So I'll hit next. Next. Publish campaign. And that's that. So this funnel, so to speak, this growth system is kind of complete. We've got our landing page. We've got the cool piece of content that positions us as an expert. It will feel valuable to somebody. I can probably do a little more work on this, punch it up with my logo. Maybe I might look at it tomorrow and add some stuff. When you write something one day, I wrote this all this morning, you always come back later and you're like, oh, I can make this better. And you guys, of course, are free to just edit this to your heart's content, make it sound more like you. But the basic framework here that will position you as a savvy real estate marketer is kind of there. So we've got this going. We've got just a reminder that yesterday we built a quick little smart campaign, right? That when somebody opts into that landing page, it'll send an auto text and an auto email. That's all built out here in my kvCORE site. We showed how to do that yesterday. And we've got a pretty tight little growth system built to attract FSBOs, or people who are thinking about selling their house on their own. So, and we've got 2 sources of traffic underway, Facebook and Google. So, yes, Rose, I'll share with the people watching live, I'll share the docs. Now I am holding it back. I'm not going to put it on YouTube because I like to do this to drive people crazy and make them sign up for the next level members area. Got to leave something behind the paywall. Here we go. So here we go. Copy link. But yes, for those of you watching live, here you go. So again, what you're going to want to do is just hit the copy file and then make a copy right here. And then I'll get this in the template section of next level probably tonight. Honestly, it'll probably be tomorrow because I do like to give it some space and punch it up. I'll probably look at it tomorrow morning, make some more edits, and put the final thing into the members area with this video and stuff, just so, for example, there's probably typos in here, right? I did it today. There's always typos. So stuff like that, hopefully I'll catch later. Okay, so good little tidy FSBO system. We had a question in the group. This is all coming from somebody, I think it was Scott Nycott, right? Scott, who said, hey, can you do some stuff about FSBOs? And this is what I came up with. Now, I do have a few more on this, but I think I'm going to leave it for tomorrow. We did ready to follow campaign, but I want to talk a little bit tomorrow about how we could use direct mail to surgically do this. And maybe we'll touch on Mojo as well, and product and things similar to Mojo. Because now that you've got your core piece of content here, you can kind of drive traffic directly at it, right? You can either drive traffic to the landing page, but is there anything stopping me from going and sending a postcard, right? And that has a person scan a QR code to access this. They can actually skip the landing page. If they scan the QR code, can go straight here. And the reason I'd let them skip the landing page is that with Thanks.io's trackable QR codes, for example, it'll just tell me who scanned it and I'll know who it was. So I kind of captures the lead. And then whenever you see a FSBO, you could call you could call it into yourself or leave a note or call your assistant and be like, hey, send them one of those reports right there. Now I'll actually share because I can't help myself. I just think it's the coolest thing ever. But I own this domain. I'm probably gonna get in trouble, aren't I? Here, I'll share with the people watching live. So I own this domain. And this was the idea of sending cards and mail. I was going to build a product called this. Sorry, if anyone's offended, I'm sorry, but it's a funny name for a FSBO product. But the idea, I think it would be useful if when you're driving out and about as an agent, I had this idea like 10 years ago. If you're driving out and about, right, and you see a for sale by owner sign, if you could call it in or text it in, and there was like a call service, and you just said 123 Main Street, and then it automatically triggered the whole postcard out in the mail, right? And the whole kind of direct mail funnel. So I've been sitting on this domain for this idea forever, and I can't help myself, but I'm not going to tell everybody what it is because it's like borderline inappropriate. But those of you in the chat watching live can have a laugh with me. Okay, but what I'm trying to say is that you could work FSBOs by setting up a system for yourself where, okay, anytime I see a sign, I'm out with my family, just going to the movies or whatever, I'm not really working, just scribble it down. Like remember the address, put it on a notepad, leave yourself a message, send yourself an email real quick that will send and then get something like this out in the mail. And then tomorrow, so the teaser is that on tomorrow's session, we're going to build out that mail flow. So that service, Abigail, is Thanks.io. I'm a co-founder of that. So Thanks.io has the trackable QR codes. And then I'm gonna dig into that tomorrow. And then I'm hoping maybe we can spend a little time talking about how maybe using Mojo, we would also trigger the same kind of thing. The services that give you FSBO data. There's potential that you could zap that data over into kvCORE or over into a Thanks.io or something, automatically trigger this stuff. So yes, campaigns are doable in Thanks.io, Patricia. So it's go in here, just like drip email. You can send a card on day 1, a card on day 2, days after added. So you can send direct mail. So, yep. So that's what I have today. There's a question from Patricia. Thanks for all the questions because we don't have a lot of attendance, so it keeps me going. Thank you. But the question is, big difference in the cost between Facebook and Google. What about the quality? For this specific example, I don't think there's going to be a lot of difference in the quality. Because by the time somebody opts into this from both traffic sources, you're probably getting similar quality. In general, though, if you're running a Facebook lead form ad to like a niche focused property search, new construction fixers or something, then that's going to be a little lower quality, even like Property Boost, because the person is just kind of clicking on Facebook. They weren't really interested in the thing, and they're gonna just kind of like say, okay, yeah, let me check that out. But they might not be really in buying mode. Where on Google, they're actually typing in Tampa, Florida real estate. So there's a little more intent. So more expensive on Google, but higher intent, less expensive on Facebook. Maybe you get the cell number more often, but lower intent. So you kind of need more leads. They both can be wildly profitable though, if you work them correctly. But I think for this specific example, the reason I say that the leak log is going to be about the same for both is they kind of really want this. They need to really want this info to put their info in here. Like you're not going to get just some casual homeowner down the street who's clicking to see like info about their neighbor's property. This isn't that casual. Like they actually do want to sell their house without paying any commission. Cool. So yeah, great, Roger. So that's what I had for today. That's part 2 of our FSBO series, and then we'll wrap this up tomorrow on our last episode of the week. Roger's asking, what is the best way to create and send a CMA from kvCORE to have a way to track it? But the CMA builder, the native CMA builder, doesn't track. Roger, what office are you with? I would definitely recommend you guys, if you can, check out kvCORE, because kvCORE has built-in tracking. When somebody opens it, they have analytics. It's really cool. I think currently kvCORE is only available if your broker has it. I don't think it's crazy expensive for your broker to get it. So maybe bug your, oh, you have it then, Roger, with your broker. You got that thing. I believe it's provided for all agents there. So I'm not in your company account, an account with your company right now, but I think it'll be under marketing. And then I have Dash CMA, which is kind of the earlier iteration of kvCORE, but you'll see a kvCORE here, and that has, you can create the full CMA, and when you send it to somebody, there's an analytics section. You can see if they opened it. It's really cool. So that definitely, you have it, so use it, right? I have time. Maybe I can look in your account, show you where it is. But let me know if you see it in there. If you don't, you should. And then anybody watching, if your broker doesn't have kvCORE, try to bug them to get it. Because really, I'm telling you, it's like one of the, for my money, it's one of the coolest things we've got on our product line. I really believe that. It's very powerful. It's either, for both buyer and seller presentations, it's just a very useful tool. The analytics tracking, the quality of the CMAs that it generates, like it's as good or better than anything out there. And I've used some of the other ones out there, and there's a lot of good stuff, but kvCORE is solid. Well, Roger, your name is not Roger CMA. That's for sure. Your name is Roger Tan. Let me see here. Do you mind if I go into your account, maybe show that? I don't know if Dash CMA has that tracking, Patricia. Your office, do you know the person who makes those decisions at your company? I can have somebody reach out to them. I don't know the cost structure, on the size of agents, but yeah, I would really recommend, Patricia, that you push for it because it's super cool stuff. And what I found is that we launched it about a year ago, I guess. A lot of people just don't know that they can add it on, and our team doesn't really push it that hard. It's not like we have a bunch of salespeople calling and saying, hey, you got to add kvCORE. So, but here is, Roger, so you've used it, right? Looks like you've used it or you've messed around with it a little bit. And then your analytics is right here. Maybe nobody's gotten this, but you should be able to click right here and see the analytics on a specific report. Samson, Patricia, I'll just ask the team to maybe hit up Donnie. Okay. Yeah, let's bug them. I can do that. Maybe we can get them a deal or a teaser or something. Get you guys all hooked on it. We'll work our magic. But yeah, I'll find out who the account manager is and see if they can give it a shot again. Okay. But yeah, kvCORE right here. Let me take a look. Here's an example of what one looks like from Roger's account. I hope you don't mind, Roger. I've just shown, but you should be able to, when you send this to somebody, you should be able to see any data when they open it. And it just looks like maybe you haven't sent it. Cool. This particular one. I want to see if I can open it in another window and if it would track. Is that the question? Oh, you were hoping that it would come as a notification in kvCORE. Yeah, that makes total sense, Roger. Okay, so that's a feature request, but why don't we, right? There's no reason why the analytics here can't send you an update or a push to kvCORE that says, hey, there was a view, and then us have it show up in your timeline, and then you get a notice, right? So this all activity, we should have a core present view, right? Somebody viewed core present. That should be in our all activity stream, and it should show up in the timeline of the user record. So I'll reach out to Karen, who created that product, and just mention that suggestion. It just could be something that hasn't come up yet, or I'll find out if it's on her roadmap. The only other way you could go about that short term is by using your own short links. It's not ideal, but you go use a bit.ly, right? And then bit.ly is probably the biggest service that does this. You turn the presentation URL into a bit.ly, and then you can look in your bit.ly dashboard and see that that particular person had opened it. But that doesn't, that's the same as tracking in 4%. I don't know. Just trying to think outside the box here. Okay. Okay, guys. Well, that's kind of what I had for today. Just continuing on with this FSBO stuff. I do hope that whether or not you decide to work FSBOs in this way, that the flow that we're going through here to build out this system, just keep in mind, you can kind of do the same thing for all different types of offers. If I was trying to get a first-time investor to opt in, I would just write a report that appealed to first-time investors and do some of the same stuff: Facebook ads, Google ads, and landing pages. So, yeah, that's interesting. Patricia, she says you could track it through a thanks.io QR code. You could do that if you sent a postcard with the CMA. And in fact, we do have, like Josh, for example, my buddy Josh Shane, he's actually doing that. He's sending CMAs, and when they get scanned, he's doing some follow-up. And that's an example of somebody who is doing that with that specific example. Here, I'll show that real quick, and then we can hop off. Let's just see if it pops up there. I was hoping I'd see one of his right away, but he doesn't mind me showing it. I usually don't show other user stuff, but I have kind of permission here. Yeah, he's sending like these monthly market update CMAs. So he's sending it as a postcard, and then when they scan to access the full CMA and get the market report, then he's being notified. That's kind of, and this might not, this is a monthly market update, but he's doing a similar thing for the CMA. Okay, guys, thanks for being on again today. I fixed the webinar thing, so you should get the notices tomorrow. And then, yeah, we're going to continue on and just look at ways that we can mail FSBOs and also pipe in people from Zoho into kvCORE and maybe thanks.io to get this offer out there. So I'll get the replay. It's up on YouTube. Do subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then I'll get all the stuff in the Next Level Members area in the next day or so as well. All right, see you guys later. Have a good one.